Hi Jessie Queens, welcome back to the channel. I remain your host on this channel, Jess Signatures. Today we'll be making this beautiful boo-boo. No long talk, let's get to the workstation. First off, you fold your fabric into two with the length. You know the I'm using a satin fabric which is length 60. So I'm folding it into two with the length which would make it 30 inches. After folding into two, I would now fold down into four without joining on the shoulder to the length of my clients. I don't know if you understand. First of all, sew into two, fold into two, and then you fold again to the length of your clients. I hope that made sense. And then what I'm doing here is I'm pinning down the fabrics together because I don't want anything to move. I want everything to be in place because this particular boo has to do with accuracy. The both sides have to be equal. That's the beauty of the boo. So if you don't get it, you'll miss your way. The first thing here to do is to get your shoulder length. Yeah, I'm using 8.5 inches because that's the length, shoulder length of my client. From that 8.5 inches, I'll measure 5 inch out. From that 5 inch, I'll measure another 5 inch again, which means I'm measuring 10 inches. And then the remaining parts, the remaining one will be for the sleeve. From your shoulder measurement divide by 2, you measure 10 inches. That's just the whole story I've been talking. Then you take your neck design, whichever neck design you choose to do. You can do 4 inches by 4 inches, you can do 3.5 by 4.5 inches, whatever neck design you choose to do. You put your neck design for the back and also for the front. Now I'm taking my vertical measurement from my shoulder to um, my hip measurement, which is 27 inches, or my client's hip measurement, which is 27 inches. And then from that 27 inches, I will go down as well to 45 inches. Now, it's not like it's not a constant thing. Depends on where you want your curve to be, or where you want the um straightness to start from, the straight bottom to start from, or you just use your client's knee measurement. That's the best thing to do. So I measured 45 inches straight down, and then the length of my client is there. The next thing is to join the lines together. Just rule a straight line horizontally so that it will make sense and you'll be able to connect the lines easily. So that's what I'm doing, guys. If you're watching to this point, please subscribe to my channel, like my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video after this one. Keep watching, please. Now I'm dividing my hip measurement by 4 to put on that knee line. Yes, your hip measurement divided by 4. Then I will add extra 8 to 10 inches. Depends on how big you want it to be or how full you want that bottom part to be. So when you divide your measurement, let me come again. When you divide your measurement, your hip measurement by 4, you add 8 to 10 inches, and then you connect that line to that hip line we drew earlier. Now, if you see, I finished my fabric because I want it that way. If you want it slim or you just want it fitted, you don't have to do it this way. But if you want the exact thing I came up with, then you do it this way. From that point, I'm going to take a straight line down to the full length of the gown or of the dress, whichever it is, and then I'll cut it out. After that, I'm cutting just the back neckline for now, just the back neckline, because if you cut the front neckline together with the back, you miss it. So I'm taking out the pin so I can cut out the front neckline. Now when the pins are out, I'll be able to open it up. Now when you see the way I open it up, I hope you understand the folding of this fabric or of this dress, because this is self-explanatory. And then I'm cutting out the front neckline. Like I said earlier, you can do 4 inches, you can do 4.5 inches. And then I'll be putting a slit of um in front of the dress, because you need it to be able to enter the person's head. And the length of my slit is 5 inches. I did 5 inches slit plus my 4 inches depth, which made it 9 inches altogether for my front neckline. And 9 inches is just perfect because it's okay for me, or for my clients rather. So I'm just marking those lines again so that they will not clean off. Like, you don't need these lines to go off because you need them. And I'm doing the same thing for the other side, because like I said earlier, accuracy is the key in this dress, and whatever you do on the right, you do on the left. So here I'm just showing you the front part for you to see how it already looks. Now this is a style of bubu on its own, but we're not doing this basic bubu. We'll be doing the sophisticated one you saw on the thumbnail and when you enter this channel. So here I'm just still marking, like I said, I'm still marking my lines. I don't know, it keep fading off, but keep marking it, it will do. And then checking if I still have my correct measurements. Now after that, I want to show you how to fold, how you're going to fold to get that flap on the shoulder. But before then, let's cut our facing. Remember, the neckline will be having a facing because you don't want it to be rough or to be fraying out. And you can also use a bias strip to turn the neckline, but I don't advise it. Why? It will not make it look professional, it will not make it look nice. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Not make it, it will not give it that look. It's not going to be giving, you know what I mean. So anyways guys, you put the way you cut any facing for any dress, the only difference is this one does not have cut on the neckline. So you just place your facing and then you trace it out. That's it guys. Then for the back, you determine the length you want for the front and back facing. If you want to leave it this long, why not? And if you do not want to leave it this long, you trim it the way you saw me, the way you're seeing me do rather. Yeah, just trim your facing and then you'll be done with that. Please guys, subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, turn off your post notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post any new video. And trust me guys, up is the way from here. So we're done with the facing. I'll be placing it on the main fabric, on the face fabric, so that you see how it's going to be or how you're going to turn it. So you can see how it's going to be on top of the main fabric. Now you'll be putting it right sides facing each other, so that by the time you sew, you'll be able to flip it to the other side and you have the right side facing you. So that's that about the neckline for now. Now the first 5 inches we did, we'll pick the midpoint of it, which is 2.5. From that midpoint, we're going to pin it down. Remember, from our shoulder measurement, we took in 5 inches. We did 10 inches, that's 5 inch for the 2 pleats we're going to have. Now that first 5 inches, you divide it by 2, making it 2.5, and then you pin it down, and you pin it all the way to the end. And then I went ahead to iron it flat. This particular outfit needs a lot of ironing so that it will be able to come out well structured. So I went ahead to iron it, and you can see that it's already laying flat even without me sewing it, because I went to give it a proper ironing, which is what you should also do as well. Now I'm just arranging it so that you see the beauty that it's already bringing out. After that, from that stitch where you did your, you measure again your 5 inches from that sewing part, that 2.5 inches, you measure again your 5 inches and divide that 5 inches by 2 again. So from that 2 inches, you just look at the screen and see what I'm doing. You will join the 2.5 and 2.5 together, and then you pin it down. I'm not sewing now because I want you to see every single step, and also see how it's going to look like, so you don't rush into sewing and then end up making silly mistakes. Yeah, I'm sorry to say silly, but there are some mistakes that are avoidable. Now what I want to do here, because this second slit and this second pleat will not get to the bottom part, I want to measure out where my slit will be. And here I was really battling between where I want the slit to be, but thank God I made a decision at last. So when I determine where my slit would be, I will know where the second one would stop. Now it depends on you. You can make it stop higher than mine, you can make it stop lower than mine. It's all you. You can see I've gone ahead to do the same thing for the other side. The same thing I did on this side, I did on the other side. All you need to do now is to go to your sewing machine and sew. Okay, so guys, now after, in the first instance we measured the shoulder measurement. Now the shoulder length we used was 3.5 inches. Now from here where the 3.5 inches stopped, we measured the remaining 5 inches, because the shoulder measurement I'm using here is 8.5 into 2. That is if you times it by 2 for the full shoulder length, it will give you 17 inches. Now if you don't want to do all of those calculations, from this center back you measure your 8.5 or your 8 inches or 7 inches depending on the person's shoulder measurement. Now from there we measured our 5 inches, of which we folded this. If you've been following from the beginning, of which we folded it. Now it was on that 2.5 inches, the middle of that 5 inches, that we stitched down. You can see we didn't stitch on this flap because this flap has to be there, so we stitched down in the middle. From here now we measured another 5 inches. Now in the middle of it we also stitched down. Now going towards the end of the second one did not get down, so it depends on where you want it to stop. Wherever you want it to stop, that's what you would work with. If you want it to go even lower than this, you can do that, but I didn't want it to go lower than this. So the way you do it is, when you are sewing down, you sew it like you're sewing a dart leg, because you cannot just stop it like this. The way this one is now, you just stop it in the middle, it will look weird. So you sew it like you're sewing a dart leg, and then you take it in, and then you continue with your 2.5 inches. You can as well start reducing your measurement. You can measure it if you want. I just eyeballed it. You can do probably like 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches, then you move to your 2.5 and you do the same thing all the way down. I know we sewed this all the way to the other side because there's no shoulder joining, and the design would fall in both the front and the back. So now after doing this, the next thing to do is to do my facing. You can decide to close your neck facing first, but me, I just decided to do this one first because that's the most difficult part of it. So now the facing, I just weaved it. If you don't have a weaving machine, you can decide to leave it like that, or you can decide to fold it twice. So I'm just going to sew it round and then flip it in, and I'll be back to meet you. So guys, you can see how neatly finished the neckline is. You can see it on the inside. So now the next thing to do is to join the edge together. So now you measure sleeve opening. So you measure your sleeve opening, which is, let's use 14 inches. I'll use 15 inches. 15. 15 inches for the sleeve opening. So first of all, I want to 3.5 inches that I'll use in folding it. This is 3.5 inches to fold it in. So from there I'll measure my slit. Let's do 14 inches. Let's just do 16 inches for the slit. So next thing to do is to sew it. You sew from here. I'm sewing 2 inches. 2 inches. Down. So here, and I sew. So guys, after sewing it, you can see I've joined it, and then the arm open. The next thing to do is to fold it in and sew. Like, fold it in and then you tack it out. That's the next thing. After that, you fold your seam allowance.